Hey there YouTube, I'm Forrest, the Latter-day Skeptic. In today's video, we're going to talk about the genocidal God of the Bible. When I was a member of the Mormon Church, I remember arguing with my Catholic friends that we don't believe in original sin because we believe in the second article of faith. However, once I started to critically think about the stories I was reading in the Bible, they seemed inconsistent with the second article of faith. Some of the most popular stories in the Bible are stories of innocent children being murdered because of the sins of their parents. A good example of this is the story of the Great Flood and Noah's Ark. In this story, humans became wicked in the eyes of God. God killed every living thing on the earth, including babies, and strangely including animals. He drowned them all. It begs the question, is it just to kill babies because of the sins of their parents? It's clear that God's justice does include killing innocent because of the wicked. Another example of the genocidal tendency of the biblical God is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were so wicked that God came to destroy them until Abraham asked him the question. God responds to Abraham and says, if you can find me 50 righteous people, I won't destroy the city. This means that God was willing to kill 49 innocent people because of the wicked. However, Abraham, a human, was able to see the injustice in this, and in a strange exchange was able to bargain with this petty God to get that number down to 10 righteous people. In the end, they weren't able to find more than a couple righteous people, and so God destroyed the whole city, including the children. The last example, and probably the most celebrated, is the Passover story. The celebration of the Passover celebrates the Exodus story of the Israelites from Egypt. The story begins with a Pharaoh who has enslaved the Israelite people, and the all-powerful God needs to free these slaves from bondage. God comes up with a plan to cause pain and suffering to the Egyptian people to leverage it against the Pharaoh. God curses plagues upon the Egyptian people just to cause suffering and pain and death, so that way the Pharaoh is pressured to release the Israelite slaves. After this didn't work, God told the Israelite people to paint blood around their doors, so that way the angel of death would know which houses to pass over. I think it's important to remember that this was an all-knowing, all-powerful God. He really couldn't come up with another way to free these slaves? Again, it begs the question, is it really just to kill these innocent babies for the sins of the Pharaoh? I'd like to remind Mormons of the second article of faith. We believe that man is punished for their own sins and not for Adam's transgressions. God's justice in the Bible is incongruent with Mormonism, and it's incongruent with Western justice in general. I know there's people that'll say, hold up, Forrest, that's not fair. I don't believe in biblical literalism. This is just a story. To those people I say, if it's a story, what's the purpose of the story? What does this story say about this God? And if it is just a story, then can you agree with me that God is acting unjust in the story? I always think it's funny when Christians think they have the moral high ground because of scripture. The Bible is full of stories that make modern day mass murderers look like amateurs. It's clear that our justice and morality come from outside of the Bible. So next time you see someone celebrating Passover, ask them how they plan to mourn for the innocent Egyptian babies that were murdered by their biblical God. That's all I've got for you. I'm Forrest, the Latter-day Skeptic. Thank you for watching.